Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. This is a members show, so if a member wants to pop in and have a chat, they can do about the show. Just to remind you, James Elbishir will be live on the show tonight, discussing his thoughts on Anthony Joshua's search for a new heavyweight trainer. As we know, Joshua got beat by previously Bashir trained Alexander Usyk. So now Joshua is scouting America, going across various gyms to find himself a new trainer. So we're bringing in James Alibashir later on this evening. We may even be talking to the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Romain Stavern, just to hear his thoughts on the gyms, trainers in America, and what's been going on. So they may talk to him as well. Right, so particular fight coming up is Gervonta Davis versus Romero. Make sure I'm sounding good. Okay, so I want to talk about this fight, and I want to talk about this fight from two standpoints. I want to talk about that fight first from a standpoint of, I heard about this guy, Rolando Romero. I heard a lot about him. He's a big puncher. And I was thinking to myself, and I never ever bothered to actually watch the guy. There was nothing that kind of drew me to look at him. And I thought, all right, you know what? Let me listen to this press conference, because I know that Romero and Tank do have some sort of friction between them. I saw a post on Instagram with Romero trying to sell the fight. He was clearly trying to sell the fight by him trying to throw punches at this doll with a picture of Gervonta Davis on it. So he's trying to sell the fight, of course. And, you know, he's calling him a dwarf, and he's got these little funny things been said. He's shooting his mouth off. So the press conference, see what was really going to go down. I made myself make sure I didn't go and watch the fighter. So I listened to the press conference. I'm listening to this press conference, and I'm hearing him talking stuff and trying to be funny. He's coming with a fur coat, and he just seemed green in the way he was trying to sell himself. Green meaning he sounded like a boy, in the sense that I'm going to knock him the F out. Like he thought that if he could swear, the more he swore, people would believe him. His trainer come up, start talking about power and knockouts and where they come from. And it's always, for me, when trainers start coming up and talking about where they come from, as opposed to boxing skills. You're a puncher, but I'm not hearing about your skill set. I'm getting a little concerned already. I was talking about punching power. Now, I haven't seen Romero fight there, man. I haven't seen Romero fight. So the next thing I'm seeing, obviously Tank's got up to talk. In fact, Tank's trainers got up to talk. Both of them, Calvin Ford, well respected, and Barry Hunter, well respected. They both get up and talk, and they both talk about where they're from as well, in terms of geographical. I mean, about skills pay the bills. And then Gervonta Davis said so. He said, "Yeah, all we're hearing is you can punch, and you're running your mouth up, and you can punch, but you ain't got no skill set. And you're knocking guys out that are bums. You got no skill set. And I'm thinking, hold on a second. So Tank knows this guy's not got a skill set. He's a puncher, but he hasn't got a skill set. That's kind of like, a guy who's like he can punch as hard as Deontay Wilder, but he's skating on ice, quite literally skating on ice, so you can't get leverage to throw your punches. So in other words, your skill set's not good enough. If you've got the foundation, although you can punch, you haven't got the foundation to go behind it. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, they've got this guy hook, line, and sinker. This guy, he talks a good game. He's got a little momentum coming in. He's had a few fights, knockouts. He's got some little backstory, between him and Tank. And now that the fight is on, he's been calling out other guys. He was meant to fight Ryan Garcia, and now Tank's taken that job on. I'm thinking, okay, this guy's dangerous. Yeah, he's talking like he's going to come to fight. He's a puncher, blah, 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 blah. Whoa, this is going to be a great fight. Can't wait till December 5th. Let me go and see what Romero's all about. Let me see what he's really talking about. Let me see what this guy's really... Then I saw his fight against Anthony Ejit. Can't even pronounce the guy's last name. And I see this guy, uncoordinated, poor footwork, getting twists up, throwing punches from sorts of all unorthodox angles, getting hit with punches all over the place, chin stuck up in the air, technically, fundamentally flawed. And I'm like, are you seriously going to go and fight Tank like that? You and your trainer, you really seriously going to fight Tank like that? And I'm seeing like blatant openings there for uppercuts from Tank. And he talks about Tank getting hit with shots. And a lot of that seems, I would say, Tank's height and how he has to force the fight. Not force it, he's got to try and get inside. So naturally, you're going to get hit with shots. But this guy, he's just wild. He's almost got a Hamid-esque. I say Nassim Hamid-esque. And I'm not talking about the good side of Hamid either. I'm talking about the side of Nassim Hamid. Take Nassim Hamid when he fought Barrera. Mix when Hamid was getting counterpunched by Barrera, mixed in with when Hamid fought Augie Sanchez and did this organized version of Nassim Hamid. That is Rolly wrapped into one. That you've got Rolly right there. The most disorganized version of Nassim Hamid, where his chin's up in the air, trying to fought uppercuts from too far out and getting nailed. That's the sort of guy that I see Rolly as. You can't go in fighting against Tank Davis, who's fought some of the best fighters in the world, like that. And then you see he's going in with all that hype and he believes he's on hype and he's going to go in with his trainer, and they know that a trainer's not going to work on skills. It's a big night for the trainer. So he's going to be, from what it sounds to me, that Rolly's training is completely out of his depth. That's what it seems to me. And the table's been set very nicely for Rolly to get knocked out pretty bad. I was looking at Rolly and thinking, you're going to get knocked out badly because you leave yourself way open, so many openings. You don't care about defense and you leave yourself open. And Tank's short as it is, so he'll make himself even smaller. So one of the things you learn, that when a guy is smaller, when a guy is smaller, and you're fighting a guy that's taller, what you do is you're small, you crouch even lower down, so the guy has to punch down. When a guy has to punch down, when he punches down, when you punch down, your head's going down, you're more liable to walk on to the uppercut. So you can see Tank from this position in the southpaw, Rolly coming down and Tank coming up. That comes as a bad mix for Rolly, a real bad mix for Rolly there. That's what I'm seeing. I see this fight going on the way. I can see maybe Rolly may get, if Tank gets himself caught up in all that, he may get Tank with a shot. But Tank's fought a lighter weight division, so he'll see those punches coming. And he's the type of guy who'll see that punch coming and then land the uppercut. That uppercut's going to be key in this fight. I don't know if Rolly's been hit as hard as Tank's going to hit one tonight. So Rolly's got a lot of things on his plate. He's already technically at a disadvantage. He's got poor footwork. He fights with his chin in the air and leaves himself defensively vulnerable. He then comes in with a trainer that Calvin Ford and Barry Hunter both probably know. This dude is not training any sort of technical. He's just working on sheer punching power, And because it's worked so far, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, on the night, you're going to wish you did fix it. Because if you're still working on just punching power, and you're not working on technical know-how, you're going to get exposed. You get this guy, Tank, is a very good fighter. And this fight here looks like a typical Floyd Mayweather pick. And I'm not saying Floyd being a cherry picker. I would say he's very strategic. This guy here, Romeo, is going to talk. He's going to promote the fight. He's going to promote himself. He's going to see it as a big opportunity with Showtime to being a big time pay-per-view. So there's money there as well. All those things will come into all come into the equation with I would not call him an experienced trainer. So he's going to be big time for him. With Romero. I'm hearing Romero possibly his trainer. This is the only fight he's got. So obviously he's got his fight to a certain position now. So trainer might thinking, yeah, I'm doing well for myself. And kudos to the trainer for that. But he is sending Romero in a lamb to slaughter. You cannot land big shots if you're off balance. And I can see Tank's gonna make it away for he's gonna come at him angles. I just don't see how Romero gets out of the way of Tank's shots. And I see Romero's talking about getting knocked out, knocking Tank out in the first round. Romero better be careful he don't get knocked out in the first round because he's walked through people's shots before and eaten people's shots. That's fine, but he might not be able to eat Tank's punches. So Tank's got power, he's got speed behind it, and he's short and compact, and they're the worst type of guys to get hit with. Tank coming up, you going down, that's a surefire knockout, and it's going to explode as well, and that's what's going to continue to make Tank pay-per-view. A knockout is definitely coming this way, but he won't be going Romero. Knockout inside 4 rounds. It could be even quicker because this guy's reckless, and I can see what will probably happen. He'll think he can take the power. He might come in nervous, but you can see. Good evening, Joe. You can see already he's going to come in to try and be a star. He's going to try and live up to that. I'm going to knock him out in the first round. You can see he's going to try and put a show on, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be all she wrote. Because what I can see him doing is coming like he's done. Because I said fighters fight in patterns, and I can see him coming out the traps, and I can see him trying to take Tank out early just to live up to the hype and all that stuff. Come out the first round, come out the traps early, and I just say, Tank, stay tight. Just stay tight. You're the faster fighter. You're the most experienced fighter. You should see them shots coming, and when you see him commit, let your shots go. You talk about them short arms. That's fine. When you're up close, you're not going to smother your work. When you're up close, just slip. When he throws a shot, slip inside, bang, up the middle. As he's going for wide, slip inside, bang. He up from the gut, upstairs, bang, the uppercut. Because Romero is wide open to the uppercut. What I mean tailor-made for the uppercut. He's tailor-made for the uppercut. Slip, inside, bang, uppercut, straight for the middle. For this guy, just wait for it. And I just keep him talking. All that nervous energy, all that barking, keep talking. But your body cannot cash. But I see him getting hit with something nasty early, and him getting stunned at the fact that Tank hits that hard, and he might get hit so fast by Tank. I don't see this is not going to go well. So Joe says Tank within 4 rounds. Yeah, I can see that. Inside 4. I don't know. But I can tell you what. It's fights like this when people say they're going to blow a guy in the round, they get blown out earlier because they're not paying attention to defense. So I wouldn't have Tank around because he's coming to Tank. Tank's going to him. I said, when a guy is coming up and the guy is punching down, the guy punching down loses momentum on the shot. The guy punching up is the one that gets more momentum in the shot. He's coming right out, bang, up there. Whereas your punch, you can lose sting off your shots, especially if you're missing a lot. So I think Romeo's going to come out fighting scared. That's what I think. Tank's been there, seen it before. Romero's going to try, but Tank by KO. They've made this matchup very smart. You always sometimes wonder why certain fights are made in boxing. I think I've explained to you exactly why this fight's been made. This guy's too inexperienced, and his ego. I've seen it too many times in boxing. Guys talking a great game, but when you look at their skill set, it doesn't match what their mouth is saying. And he's talking about a dwarf. You better be careful. You don't want to get knocked out by a dwarf because you've just called him a dwarf. While I'm at it, happy birthday, Deontay Wilder. It's his birthday today. A nice touch from the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, who referred to Deontay Wilder as an awesome fighter. I don't think he said that in tongue-in-cheek. He knew what he was in there with more than any person on YouTube could. Getting dropped by the bronze bomber probably is not a nice thing. And he got hit twice cleanly by the bronze bomber that dropped him. You know, so hey, that bronze bomber wants a full fight. I don't want to see another one of those fights for Deontay Wilder. I think he's had enough of those sort of shots. Let him fight someone else instead. So I think that's it for now. Join me later on. We will be doing a call-in with James Ali Bashir. I hope you can hear me clearly today. We'll be doing a call-in later with James Ali Bashir. We'll be talking to Uncle Bashir about that question. Why is he just going around all the gyms? Why has he not contacted James Ali Bashir, the guy who trained Alexander Usyk to cruiserweight glory? The guy who's been an assistant trainer for Vladimir Klitschko, and he managed to as a right-hand man. We'll be back later. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. If you want to leave your comments as well, become a member. There's a lot of good stuff coming on the channel, and exclusive interviews with top world-class trainers. That's what we keep doing here. There's no point listening. You can listen to me, but it's always better to listen to the top guys in the sport. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching BWTM Sports, and we'll catch you on this side. Gervonta Davis versus Rolando Romero. I think it's going to be a good one. Take care.